It was this song in 2002 that launched Shoza's career and introduced her as the first female Kwaito artist. She went to release more chart-topping hits during her music career. Fondly known as Shoza Boza, the Queen, Nomasonto Maswanganyi burst into the music scene as a young, daring teen girl. She challenged many stereotypes by transitioning from being a pageant girl to a tomboy. She was known as a strong, free-spirited, yet shy and introverted person.
Shoza Engmazi was a very bubbly person. Someone mentioned earlier that she would have loved or she would love to be celebrated gahle and happily. You know, as heartbroken as we are, I would also like to say, asizame ukuthi simcelebrate ngenjabulo, because she was always happy. I've never seen Shoza grumpy. Believe it or not, I've known Shoza for a very long time. Even during my bad publicity, people trying to drag a name down and all of that, she was always bubbly.
Her passing last week shocked many in the entertainment industry and left many of her fans in mourning. Shoza was laid to rest this weekend.
Hello and welcome to another fabulously festive edition of Trendz Travel, coming to you from the luxuriously upmarket guest house accommodation in the heart of one of Johannesburg's most beautiful suburbs. We are at the Little Forest Guest House in Parkhurst, and I'm your host, Eloise Scoville. We go deep into the mountains of Ishari. Being the oldest town of European settlement in Zululand, Ishari's name is said to be inspired by the sound of the wind blowing through the more than 4 square kilometers of the indentured forest. The most important striking feature of this town. Here we go back in time as we explore the hidden caves of the Zulu king, King Shaka. Mornings at this campsite start with the sun beating down on your tent and the sounds of nature and the melodic voices of the locals. With the jubilant songs still fresh in our heads, we make our way on the familiar dirt road to embark on the day's adventure. The rocky and winding path bounces us all the way to a stop, and it's time to go further on foot. It is here that the exploration officially begins. The trek involves descending the rocks, walking and climbing, but all at a leisurely pace, finding natural places to relax, engage and enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah. Just catch a relaxation in the wine. Oh, this is a traditional hammock, the roots.
After some root resting, we are back at the endless trail of walking and yet more walking, until we hit this magnificent view at the summit. Beside the magical and breathtaking view of the hilltop village against the lush greenery, there is also the orange and brown rock formations that have been burrowed by centuries of rain and erosion. It looks like a miniature version of the Grand Canyon and a great place to play hide and seek. Then it's back on the trails, taking us to the opposite end of the mountain. It's not a long or treacherous walk, but we still stop midway for a water break, and just to sit and look out over the expanse of the view. What is significant about these caves? Why do we come out and have a look at them?
Actually, it's because Shaga's Nduna and Dosi Nzuza used to hide a muti portion for Imbi, for them to be able to defeat Imbi. So this is the place where they used to hide this special muti that made the Zulus defeat most of the other tribes.
Okay, now what are your rules for us before we even go in?
It is very important for me to make sure that before you go in, that cave is safe.
We have to wait until your turn.
Yes, once I declare safe, then you can proceed. Because you find in different weathers, these are just authentic caves. I need to make sure that there's no animals that goes and hide there because they're healthy caves. How you see they're healthy, it's because there's no bones inside. Here we've got about 8 caves with different shapes and different looks, but namuhla we will only do these 2. And before we proceed, we want to stand on the rock where the Induna used to peep through to see if no one sees where he hides these special moves. There is a peeping rock. It's just here. It's an overviewing space where you can see all over the village.
Coming up after the break, we satiate your desire for all things beautiful as we delve into the world of art and even some culture. In the meantime, you can use this time to hit us up on Twitter or on Instagram. That's on Trendz on SABC using the hashtag SABC News. FNB Art Joburg is proud to announce the launch of its 13th edition of the fair, which will be taking place online this year. The shift in dates has given the team time to curate a collection that will give art lovers access to an experience which captivates the best parts of a light showcase while respecting the times. Let's have a look.
Now on its 13th edition, the FNB Art Joburg firm has gone virtual due to the COVID-19 regulations. Over 30 artists across the African continent, the likes of Lady Scully, a feminist artist and advocate, 2020 Standard Bank Young Artist winner Blessing Ngobeni, and Nigerian painter Cyril Omar. The online platform brought a positive spin to the art fair by allowing artists who can't afford to travel to South Africa an opportunity to showcase their collection on a larger scale.
We have put together over 30 exhibitors which come from 13 countries around the continent. So what's exciting is that we have quite a variety. So people that would normally not be able to travel to South Africa, maybe due to costs or whatever the reasons are actually able to exhibit to South Africans and to around the world. But at the same time, with this online platform, we've opened up to new audiences so people can actually engage in other parts of the world. We really do have a collection of probably the best of African contemporary art.
Trendz Travel got an invite to come view some of the artwork on display.
So the artwork is by Gary Stevens, and he is depicting his friend, model, activist Bongani Njalo. He is heroic in his stance and he wears the gay pride flag on his earring. It's subtle, it's quiet, but it's proud, and he's channeling the idea of pink and the history of pink as a gendered colour and the use of the colour pink by the gay pride movement in protest to homophobia and to celebrate gay rights. One of the largest works in this room is by artist Bronwyn Lace, and as you can see, there is no pink as a colour in the work whatsoever, but her work thinks about feminine identity, the female anatomy, organs, the uterus, ovaries, and then the Rorschach test at the same time, which was an old-fashioned psychological test with ink blots that you fold the piece of paper in half, and whatever you see in that abstract ink blot then reflects how you are psychologically, and you can be analysed in that way. So this work is by Blessing Ngobeni, who won the Standard Bank Art Award for 2020. This is an older work of his that has been in his archive for some time, and when we explained the concept behind the Pink Show, he knew immediately that this work was perfect for this exhibition. So the title of the work is Without Skin, We're Pink. And he talks about the fact that we are deeply preoccupied and governed by race relations. Universally, globally, we've seen how, Black Lives Matter is still deeply relevant and necessary in the 21st century. This sculpture is by South African artist Angus Taylor. He drives around the country collecting stones. He's fascinated about the geological history of our continent, and our country has amazing geological wealth. And this rock in particular is called Bloodstone. This is a ceramic vase by Lucinda Mudge, and she has been producing the most extraordinary vases as her artistic practice. And this vase in particular is called Looky Looky, and it's got these eyes that are cut out of the ceramic body. They're quite suggestive, and it's quite a cheeky interpretation of femininity, female household objects. You don't put flowers in these, they are artworks in themselves and have a lot of attitude. So this is a really fierce female interpretation of ceramics, and we felt that it was an important inclusion on this exhibition.
The fair will also feature guided tours of the galleries, panel discussions, and interactive sessions with artists. All of this from the comfort of your home.
The former capital of the independent homeland, Thohoyandou, meaning the head of the elephant in Tshivenda, lies south of Venda on the main road between Louis Trichardt and the Kruger National Park. It is rich in culture and also known for its fresh produce and green fields. And there's a lot of places to visit. And this week, Nadia makes it her playground.
A little over 500 kilometers drive from Johannesburg to Thohoyandou in Limpopo province offers the traveler nothing but scenic and breathtaking views. Upon arrival, you are greeted by the green land with red soil and an abundance of fruit. Venda people hold their customs and traditions close guarded. There are few places that are considered as sacred ground around the area. Our first stop was the Pipidi waterfalls, lying within a forest on the Muchindudi River, and are used by the elders of the Ramonangi clan to communicate with their ancestors. All of this is sacred ground, but the two specific areas that are considered holy are the rock at the top, named Lanadzogolo, and the pool at the bottom, Gubugubu. In the 1980s, the government decided to open this area to the public as a tourist destination. People now come here to relax, take beautiful pictures, and cool off from the heat. Next, we visited Tate, the sacred forest that surrounds a dam, regarded as the most majestic and beautiful forest in the Limpopo region. Traditional folklore says the forest is patrolled by a white lion, which protects the graves of the chiefs of the Netate, Nechidzive, and Nechitangani clans. There's also trees that you can't look at or even get close to. We chose not to risk it, but go dip our feet in the dam. The water temperature was just perfect. I wish we could have stayed longer. But off we went to the famous baobab tree. Part of the country's heritage is the baobab tree. This one is known as Muri Kungulwa, translated the tree that roars, because of the sound the wind creates when passing through the branches. Although scientists speculate that the tree is over 1,000 years old, the villagers say at least 3,000.
The history around the tree is that there's a snake that comes from the mountain just to come and protect this tree during the course of the night, and in the morning it will leave again. I've just seen some bees also inside there. I asked why are the bees there? They said that the bees have been here. They are working as security in this tree. The royal family used to stay in this tree. Bamusanda and his family used to stay in this tree back in the days. I don't know when, but back in the days. And what I heard now is that also there was no protection around this tree. Everyone respected the tree. But nowadays you can see the tree is written so many things. But back then there was no need for the protection for the tree.
Many indigenous people believe the spirits of their ancestors inhabit the baobab, and hence the tree often plays a central role in ceremonial rituals and sacrifices. As the sun sets on the horizon, one is filled with so much peace after traversing these mountains and rivers of Limpopo. I don't know, but maybe there's something in the water.
What will you and your family be up to this December and festive season? Why not let us know and share your travels with us on our Twitter and Instagram pages. That's on Trendz on SABC using the hashtag SABC News.
This time, Bantu hikers chose a trail that has never been explored before. The journey started at the Inkosi Bhambatha Zondi's memorial site in Ngome in Msinga. The choice of trail was for a history lesson. In the early 1900s, the chief refused for his subjects to pay poll tax to the British to live on the land of their ancestors.
Bhambatha opposa le operation kaKhandampondo ipolitics ukuthi akavumi ukuthi esizweni sakhe kukhokhwe le politics. Izizwe ke ezingavumanga kwaba isizwe lesala kaZondi, kwaba isizwe sakaShezi enkandla sikaSigananda. Bahlangana ke noSigananda bavumelana ukuthi ngeke bekwazi ukukhokha uKhandampondo.
And this led to a few fights, and one of them was here at the rock, where Bhambatha was able to ambush the Natal battalion forces and kill them. This led to a later battle of Mome.
The British claimed to have beheaded the chief for his refusal to pay poll tax. Locals and the chief's family dispute this. They say the head the British claimed was the chief's was in fact not his.
I-report yayithi uBhambatha abelungu bambulala baze bathatha inwele zakhe zahamba zaya eBritain. Uma sesitholile thina kunenwele zikaBhambatha eseBritain zabuya lezo nwele, kwakukhona uAnti ngaleso sikhathi owayesaphila wayindodakazi enkosi Bulawayo eyayizala uBhambatha, okwenziwa iDNA phakathi kaAnti uVelephi noAnti uSithombe noAnti uNtombile okuyilo. Leyo DNA yaba negative okusho ukuthi lezi
coming to you from the Little Forest Guest House in Parkhurst, Johannesburg. Do remember that you can catch up on all your favorite Trendz travel moments on YouTube, and of course follow us on all our social media platforms. Until next time, I'm Eloise Scobel reminding you to support local tourism.